The world you are entering, or perhaps are already deeply immersed in, is not a safe space designed for comfort or convenience. Forget the idealized picture of academic life. Your reality is defined by intense competition, soaring costs, and the absolute necessity of high return investment in your future. Every semester, every decision about financial aid, and every choice of curriculum represents a high-stakes conflict, a life-or-death mission in the unforgiving landscape of the modern economy. Students across the nation are facing challenges unlike any generation before, battling the enrollment cliff and the crushing weight of financial barriers that remain the single greatest obstacle to persistence and success. This is not an abstract exercise. This is a fight for leverage, relevance, and peace of mind. To navigate this conflict, we must stop thinking like students waiting for instructions and start thinking like operators, like the most lethal, focused individual in cinematic history, the man they call Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. The legend is not built on luck or talent. It is built on a specific, repeatable structure of preparation, discipline, and execution. This structure, this mindset, is what we call the Baba Yaga Blueprint. We are taking the lessons of critical analysis, military-grade accountability, and assassin-level focus, and applying them directly to your student life, transforming you from a passive participant into an unstoppable force. There is a lesson from the Latin language, an old adage that defines the ethos of this blueprint, and it is a fundamental truth of power and self-reliance. Si vis pacem, para bellum. If you want peace, prepare for war. If you want the peace of mind that comes from financial security, professional relevance, and a life lived on your terms, you cannot passively wait for it. You must prepare aggressively for the fight. Preparation is the only currency that buys freedom. We are here today to build that preparation, forging 3 pillars that will make you formidable. First, critical thinking, the clarity of vision. Second, iron discipline, the foundation of control. And third, unwavering focus, the execution of pure will. This journey is not about finding quick motivation. Motivation is fleeting, a temporary sugar rush that burns out just as quickly as it ignites. This journey is about installing deep core discipline, a structure so robust that it eliminates the need for motivation altogether. You cannot afford naivete in this battleground. 1, you must shed the idea that life owes you ease or opportunity. The next 60 minutes are dedicated to giving you the operational framework to level up your smarts, leave softness behind, and equip you with the mental weaponry necessary to achieve success fast, regardless of the chaos surrounding you. The first step in any successful mission is reconnaissance. You must know the battlefield, and more importantly, you must know yourself. We are not just talking about intellect, we are talking about clarity of mind. The legendary assassin never moves without complete intelligence. His effectiveness is built on ruthless, objective evaluation of facts and risks. For the student, this means replacing assumptions with data and confronting the profound danger of naivete that costs generations their freedom. Naivete, that comfortable reliance on things going smoothly, is simply too expensive in the modern higher education system, often leading to poor financial decisions and reliance on faulty, unchallenged information. Critical thinking is your first line of defense, a structured journey into the art of inquiry that helps you navigate life's complexities and make informed, conscious choices. It begins by unmasking assumptions. You must challenge every premise, particularly the ones that are most comfortable. The assumption that a standard 4-year degree is the only path, or that financial aid will magically solve all problems, must be rigorously interrogated. Your task is to develop the skill to distinguish facts from opinions, to evaluate evidence, and to foster a mindset of continuous growth. The process of sharpening this weapon is straightforward, yet few have the discipline to follow it. First, formulate the exact question you need answered. Not the easy question, but the hard, uncomfortable one that reveals the underlying truth. Second, gather information, recognizing that quantity is useless without quality. You must vet your sources and confirm the integrity of the data. Third, you must apply the information to your specific situation, considering the implications of that knowledge on your future path and financial standing. Failure to engage in this structured analysis means you operate in darkness, driven by impulse and external marketing rather than internal clarity. Take the financial battlefield as a direct example. Financial barriers remain the top obstacles for students, driving people to stop out or opt out entirely. The student who operates on naivete accepts the first loan offer or the assumed cost. The student who deploys critical thinking, like John Wick hunting for the facts, rigorously investigates financial aid transparency, questions the total cost of attendance, and compares the ROI against alternative credentials like certificates or apprenticeships that offer faster, industry-aligned career outcomes. The principle here is simple. Get the facts. If you do not know the language of your financial business, you will be taken advantage of. And that failure to investigate is a failure of leadership over your own life. Furthermore, critical thinking is the precursor to self-mastery because it builds self-awareness. Self-discipline is impossible without the prerequisite self-awareness. The mind is your primary weapon, and if you are not aware of your own thoughts, feelings, and impulses, you will react emotionally rather than act strategically. This is why practicing mindfulness and reflection is so crucial. It allows you to observe your internal environment and make conscious choices instead of reacting impulsively to setbacks, stress, or the temptation of procrastination. You must embrace the reflective practice, constantly checking your inner compass. When you hit a wall, when you fail an exam or miss a deadline, the naive response is to blame the external circumstance. The critical thinker first asks, where did my planning, my assumptions, or my effort fall short? That deep inquiry moves you from victim to strategist, preparing you for the next phase, taking absolute control. The transition from thinking to doing is where most people fail. They possess the knowledge, but lack the structure to convert that knowledge into measurable results. This is the domain of iron discipline, the core philosophy championed by the warrior Jocko Willink. Discipline is freedom. This concept is often misunderstood. People chase freedom by avoiding rules and structure, but this only leads to being enslaved by their own desires, emotions, and external stimuli. True, unshakable freedom, the power to achieve your goals and direct your life, comes only from the rigid structure of self-control. Discipline is not innate. It is a muscle that must be trained constantly. It is practiced daily, not waited for weekly. The most critical battle you face every day is the battle of the morning. How you start the day sets the operational tone for everything that follows. When the alarm goes off, that is your first test. If you have the discipline to get out of bed immediately, you pass the test, and you build momentum that translates to more significant decisions throughout your day. 21. If you are mentally weak for that moment and you hit the snooze button, you fail the test, allowing that weakness to translate into procrastinated assignments, neglected study time, and eventual failure. 21. Win the morning and you win the day. The iron discipline demands extreme ownership, a principle that dictates that a true leader takes full, absolute accountability for everything in their domain. You are the leader of your own academic mission, and you are responsible for 100% of the outcomes. If the study group fails, it is your responsibility. If the project is delivered late, it is your responsibility. If the grade is poor, it is your responsibility. There are only two types of leaders in this world: effective and ineffective. Ineffective leaders create excuses, deflect blame, and complain about circumstances. Effective leaders know that even when faced with external problems, a failure is theirs to own because they failed to prepare, mitigate, or adjust the plan sufficiently. This principle provides the essential psychological armor necessary for survival in a high-pressure environment. When a student fails a class, a psychological impact can be devastating, leading to feelings of helplessness. However, adopting extreme ownership shifts the perspective. The failure is not viewed as a personal condemnation, but as a leadership failure that requires immediate, rigorous correction through improved systems, training, and self-mentoring. It transforms a setback into a comeback. You cease to worry about what is outside your control and relentlessly focus on what you can control: your effort, your attitude, and the alternative to iron discipline is a predictable spiral of failure, delay, and consequence. This truth is captured starkly in the world of John Wick, where the ultimate consequence for breaking the established code is death. For the student, the consequences are professional and financial death. Every rule broken, every commitment missed, every assignment neglected has a corresponding price. Breaking the rules of your own defined mission, whether by procrastination or sloppy work, yields a consequence. You must be willing to face the consequences of the weaknesses you indulge in. Therefore, the goal of discipline is not to be perfect, but to be so consistent in your self-control that the consequences of failure become increasingly remote. Stop waiting for the right moment to start that difficult assignment or pursue that next credential. There is no perfect timing. The only time that matters is right now, today. When critical thinking provides clarity and discipline provides structure, the final lethal element required for success is the unwavering intensity of execution. This is the Baba Yaga standard, famously defined by his hunted adversaries. John Wick is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will. This trinity is what separates the starters from the finishers and the dreamers from the high performers. This is the standard you must impose on every project, every exam, and every career decision you make. You must become the person they send to kill the fucking boogeyman, the problem in your own life. Focus, in the context of this blueprint, is what is known as black belt focus. It is an immovable, unwavering concentration on a clearly defined objective. Most students want change but cannot articulate precisely what success looks like, resulting in inconsistent behaviors and distractions. John Wick embodies the ancient wisdom of the archer who forgets the target and thinks only of the bow and arrow. Total, present immersion in the process itself. Your objective must be crystal clear. Once defined, your focus must become singular, ignoring the constant deluge of digital noise, social distractions, inconveniences, and feelings that try to surmount your mission brief. When you sit down to study, you are not passively reading. You are executing a high-precision maneuver. You don't need to be loud. You need to be precise. Commitment is the second pillar, and it is the vow you make to yourself to be a finisher. The world is saturated with individuals who start strong. They buy the textbook. They sign up for the course. They commit to the new habit, only to abandon the effort when the friction begins. True commitment means your word is your bond, especially to your own mission. If you struggle with breaking promises to yourself, start small. Commit to tiny, achievable tasks and finish them. This builds the emotional capacity and mental resilience required to eventually take on the entire Russian crew, or in your case, the entire complexity of your chosen industry. Commitment means sustained effort required to execute with finesse, transforming every learning opportunity into a demonstration of professional mastery. The third pillar is sheer will, which is the controlled, deliberate concentration required to operate at maximum capacity. John Wick faces impossible odds, insurmountable obstacles, and an endless stream of adversaries, yet he never breaks. He is a testament to resilience. Resilience is not just about enduring hardship, it is about learning and growing from it. The real lesson here is the necessity of maintaining effort whilst experiencing the presence of fatigue, negative media, self-doubt, and technological glitches are facts of life. They are the friction. Instead of allowing challenges to break you, you must use that stress as fuel, forcing you to adapt, overcome, and grow stronger. Resilience is a muscle, and it only strengthens through the exercise of pushing through pain and friction. This relentless push toward mastery is critical because the modern economy demands you be a pro. It is not enough to look the part or simply graduate. You must achieve the highest level of professional skill in your chosen field. Students must diligently hone their skills until they are lethal in the marketplace. This focus on practical skill development aligns perfectly with the current educational shifts, where modern learners are prioritizing hands-on learning and career readiness. Whether it is through traditional coursework or the increasing opportunities offered by focused certificate programs and high ROI apprenticeships, your output must reflect precision and professional grade quality. The intense focus and discipline we have discussed are not for abstract self-help. They are tools engineered for practical results in a difficult world. We must now connect the Baba Yaga Blueprint directly to the final target, achieving professional relevance and securing your financial future. The mandate from the modern learner is clear. They demand practicality, flexibility, affordability, and clarity, viewing education as an investment that must yield a high return. For nearly 60% of high school students, the primary motivation for pursuing higher education is getting a good job or advancing their career. Your commitment must be aligned with this pragmatic reality. The financial battlefield remains a complex obstacle for those continuing or considering education. This necessitates applying critical thinking and discipline to every dollar spent and every loan acquired. The emphasis on high return on investment pathways has led to a major shift in the educational landscape. Students are increasingly prioritizing alternative credentials and flexible programs, such as industry certificates and apprenticeships, over traditional long-form degrees. These alternative credentials offer targeted skill development, often aligned directly with current job demands, and provide a focused, affordable pathway to relevance without incurring unnecessary debt. The rise of apprenticeships, which have more than doubled in the U.S. over the last decade in high-growth fields like healthcare, finance, and technical services, is the academic equivalent of John Wick's hyper-specialization. You must choose your mission with precision, focusing on programs that integrate practical skill building and strategic partnerships with industry leaders. This is not about choosing the easy path. It is about choosing the effective path. The disciplined student is aware of these opportunities and leverages them to gain job-ready experience, rather than blindly following outdated traditions. Ultimately, the mastery of focus and discipline is channeled into defining who you are and what your life means. The philosophy of John Wick offers a profound warning. What happens if you focus on the wrong things, on vengeance, on chaos, on external validation rather than on purpose and peace? You have the choice to make every day about short-term fixes and temporary distractions, or about the strategic, disciplined pursuit of a meaningful future. Winston, the keeper of the Continental, once delivered the ultimate philosophical challenge to John Wick himself, a challenge that translates perfectly to your life today. The real question is, who do you wish to die as, Jonathan? The Baba Yaga? The last thing many men ever see? Or as a man who loved and was loved by his wife? Who do you wish to die as, Jonathan? This question defines your legacy. Will you spend your life accumulating debt, chasing status, and being ruled by impulsivity, dying as someone defined only by the chaos you created? Or will you choose to die as a person defined by purpose, discipline, love, and professional mastery? Your current decisions, your level of focus, and your daily discipline are writing that answer right now. The time for waiting is over. There is no perfect moment to start, and every delay increases the consequences. Embrace extreme ownership now. Own your academic schedule, own your grades, own your financial plan, and own the quality of your output. Look at the next days not as a semester, but as an urgent mission, a window of opportunity where you can change your life and achieve success fast. You have the tools. You have the code. You have made your choice to be here and to internalize this demanding philosophy. Now, move with intent and execute with precision.